Namaste yogis, this is Stephen from YogaWorks, and today we're going to de-stress with movement. Sometimes in a period where you feel really challenged, a little bit anxious, maybe quite depleted, when the stress seems to be getting the better of you, it is quite a normal reaction at first to resist movements, to not step on your mat, to not go for a walk or a run outside, to just become a little bit more passive. So that's the first thing that we're going to try to overcome today, is to resist the urge to become passive and to actually step on our mat and do some soothing movements that feel really good. And then secondly, we want to learn how to move in a way that doesn't deplete us, that doesn't feel like it is taking even more energy and we already feel like we're a little bit depleted. So we want to move in a way that actually seems to fulfill us, to recharge our batteries, to make us feel a little bit capable again of handling whatever's waiting for us after our yoga practice. So let that be the focus today, where you move in such a way that it recharges you rather than depletes your energy even further. You already made the effort to make a little bit of time for your practice. So let that be enough, and let the movements support you in that. So come to a comfortable seat, cross-legged, and just have the left shin in front of the right. And then just walk a tiny bit forward, but not so much it becomes a really big stretch. And just really simply sway side to side here. You might be a little bit higher up, you might be a little bit lower down, doesn't really matter. Just go to a point where you feel a mild outer hip stretch, but nothing too intense. And then just sway and allow the movement to invite you in. Let this be a safe place to practice. You came to a mat. There's nothing you have to achieve here. You came here to feel better, maybe a little bit less stressed, maybe a little bit more energized after this practice. So let that be your goal for today. And then lift up and just swap the legs, so the right leg's in front, or whichever one you haven't done yet. Lean a tiny bit forward so you feel a mild outer hip stretch, and just sway side to side. Might feel a bit different than the first side, it's quite normal. Just soothing movements. There's something about this rocking motion that calms down our nervous system. For today, I'm not going to cue the breath too much, let it just flow easily as it needs to. You'll know when it's a good time to inhale and to exhale. You don't need me to tell you. And let the breath also support your practice in the background. And then slowly lift up. I'll just turn sideways so you can see a bit better. Now all we're going to do is from here we'll lift up, swap the legs so the other leg is in front, and then just fold forward. And we're not staying in one place, we're just moving smoothly from the one cross of the legs to the other, but without building up a serious intensity. We're just doing simple, soothing movements. So every time you lean back, you swap the legs, and then you lean forward just to get into the intensity a tiny bit. Swap the legs again, lean a little bit forward. Let it be really simple and enjoyable. Often when we get stressed, one of the main areas in the body where we tighten up is often the hips. So this session is going to focus a lot on hip movement, the outer hip, but also the inner thighs, the front of the legs, the back of the legs, a little bit of hamstrings. And then now for the next couple of rounds we'll do the same, but have your ankle on top of the other knee and just lean a little bit forward. You can have your hands behind you to support. Swap the legs, ankle on top of knee. So it's a double pigeon, but just really briefly. Doesn't really matter how high your knee is or how much you lean forward. Maybe you stay a little bit higher up. That's all good. So just relax as you move, alternate through these different positions. Couple more times. Let's do one more on each side. Left foot on top, lean forward. Right foot on top, lean forward. Nice. And then come into this stag position where your right foot and the left knee are close together. Just check where the feet are. They should be a bit more than hip distance apart. The feet are not going to move, they'll stay in place, but just will windscreen wipe the knees to the opposite side. You can have your hands behind you. Again, simple soothing movements, just to get into a little bit of hip rotation work here without adding a lot of intensity. If the knees don't go all the way down, then just be happy with that. They don't need to touch the mat. If that is not happening for you today, that's fine. A couple of times, just feel how the thigh bone is moving in the hip socket and how these gentle rocking motions can translate into just a feeling of restfulness, of peace even as you are moving, and a welcome break from whatever else has been keeping you busy out there, outside your yoga practice. And then transition into downward facing dog, and straight away start to walk the legs out. So one by one, you stretch one heel down as you bend the other knee. And then alternate, stretch the other heel down and bend the other knee. A couple of times, really a great way to get into calves, hamstrings, and to just, again, have a soothing, rocking motion going on. That is simple, that is uncomplicated. You don't need to think about it, not getting lost in what to do next. Your mind can relax and just enjoy the simple space. Then from here, step your right foot forward and lower the left knee down. And a couple of times, just increase the distance between your front foot and the back knee a little bit. And then just pull back, lift the toes, and re-bend your front knee. So I'm pulling the right hip back, and I'm re-bending. Nice and simple. Nobody says this right leg has to straighten all the way as you go back. It might happen, but it's not essential. You'll feel the hamstring stretch anyway as you go back. And then keep the spine a little bit long as you rock forward and back. Let's do two more. Pull back, move forward. One more. Move back and move forward. Step back to down dog. Take a slow breath in. Take a slow breath out. And swap legs, so left foot forward, right knee down. A bit of a longer distance. And as you pull the left hip back, lengthen the heart forward. You can support on the fingertips, or if that's hard, you can have some blocks to lift the hands. And just a couple of times, nice and simple. Try not to go too far, because you'll be deducting from the experience rather than adding on. We're not trying to maximize our flexibility here. Just try to get into the hips a little bit, and most of all, soothe our nervous system with these simple movements. Trying to drop into a comfortable space where there's an invitation to open up, but nothing that needs to happen. 2 more, pull back and rebend. Last one. And then just step back to down dog. Step right foot forward again. This time stay on your fingertips and keep the back knee lifted for a moment. And with your feet just push the mat down to get a little bit of extra engagement in the legs. And then start to bend the back knee and re-straighten it. And just do this a few times, nice and simple. Once you get the movement, you can pretty much forget about it. Your body continues it, but your mind doesn't need to be super active. Watch that your mind doesn't go, oh, this is such a tight area, or I wish I'd started yoga 5 years earlier, or whatever minds come up with. It's sometimes quite crazy. Can you just be with the simple space? Next time your knee touches down, keep it down. You can reach your right arm back for a simple twist, or if it's available, you can briefly bend the back knee, hold the outside edge of your back foot, and kick the foot into the hand. Just spend a little moment to feel the length of space in the left quads, the front of the left thigh. And then release that and step back. Downward facing dog just for a moment. And then left foot forward. Come into that lunge with the back knee lifted. Stay on fingertips. Use blocks if you need to go a little bit higher. That's all good. And then keep that. Bend the back knee. And re-straighten it. Couple of times, and more or less can you try to keep the left hip at the same height. It's not going to be perfect, but just watch as you come down, the structure doesn't collapse completely. And just notice this. We'll work on the front of the right thigh, but more importantly we're working on dropping into a simple place. Keep the back knee down next time you are there. Reach the left arm back and maybe bend the back knee and hold the outside of the back foot if that is available today. Couple of breaths here. Kick your foot back into the hand so that left shoulder opens up. And then step back. Just do down dog. One more little warm-up. Step your right foot in the middle between the hands. Drop the back knee down. And then come onto the outside edge of that front foot and let the right knee go a little bit wider. So it's sort of pigeon-like, as in the same targeted muscles, but we'll just move a little bit differently. We're not trying to get that knee down, we're just moving it out to the side. And then a couple of times, bend your elbows and straighten. Bend, your chest gets closer to your right big toe and straighten. Couple of times, might just go a little bit, or maybe just staying in this position with straight arms might give you enough stretch. Otherwise, do these mini push-ups. Let's do one more. And step back, down dog. And then left foot forward in the middle between the hands. Come onto the outer edge. Try to protect this ankle by pulling the toes up. And then you can place the back knee down. Have your hands a little bit wider so you've got space. And then bend the elbows and re-straighten. If you want, you don't have to add the movements. If you just stay upright and you feel enough, then that's totally fine. Otherwise, add the mini pigeon push-ups, you could call it. Not to get into serious intensity, but just to add a bit of soothing movements that are accessible, that are simple. that you don't have to worry about. And then just step back. Walk your feet forward to the front. And then here, bend the left knee quite a lot. Have your feet hip distance apart. Have your left hand in front, actually under your face, you could say. And then straighten the right leg, push that right hip a little bit up and a little bit back, and lift the right arm, look up at the ceiling, and then lower the right arm. Let's do a few more, keep the legs the same, right leg straight, left knee bent. Lift the arm, don't change the legs, but just lower the right hand. 2 more. Open and release. 1 more. Lift and lower. Take a moment just to hang down. And I will change to the second side now. The right knee bends, left leg straightens. Have right fingertips down in front of the feet, in the middle somewhere. And then a couple of times, left arm up, open the chest to the left. Lower the left arm. Keep the legs the same, push the left hip back. So you open the left arm. And lower. 2 more. Lift. And lower, let your breath flow easily. You'll notice when it's better to inhale, when it's better to exhale. Your body knows. And then for a moment, just bend your knees, hang the upper body over the legs, and hold opposite elbows. Can you hang down a bit more fully? Just feel the structure of the legs. And then the spine cascading down, as it were. And you can place fingertips down, wiggle your feet a little bit wider, coming to a yogic squat, malasana. And you can use the hands inside your knees, if you like to press the knees a little bit wider. Keep the chest lifted and press the feet down. And then a couple of times, straighten and rebend. Straighten and rebend. Keep it simple. Next time you straighten, keep the legs straight, wiggle the feet to hip distance. Bend the knees a little bit and roll up to standing. 2 half sun salutations with the squat. Open the feet a little bit wider. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, bend your knees, squat down. Inhale to flat back, lengthen the chest forward. Exhale, forward fold over the legs. You can keep the feet a little bit wider, no problem. Inhale, go all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. 1 more, just like this. Inhale, rise. Exhale, toes out, squat. Inhale, flat back, lengthen chest forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to rise. Exhale, back to hands to heart. Inhale. Exhale, squat. Inhale, flat back, chest forward. Exhale, just to a lunge, the right foot back. Inhale, press the mat away with your fingertips, with the feet. Exhale, just step to down dog. Today I'm going to skip all the vinyasa, so there's no plank, there's no chaturanga, there's no locust or cobra. But if you feel it would help you to add this in while we take a little break here, then you're also welcome to do that. Just do it for the right reasons, because your body is really feeling like that would be a good thing right now, and not because you're on autopilot and that's what you always do. Take a breath in. Exhale, step the right foot forward, fingertips down, and the chest a little bit lifted. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, keep going. Exhale, squat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, left foot back into simple lunge. Take a breath, inhale as you lift the belly and the chest a little bit away from the thigh. Exhale, step to down dog, or of course you can keep moving here. Just remember, you're here to de-stress with movement. You're not here to deplete yourself with movement. So choose just the right amount for you today. Inhale here. Exhale, step the left foot forward and press the mat away in your lunge. Inhale. Exhale, step forward, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Take it, reach through the fingertips. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale. Exhale, squat. Inhale, flat back. Move your feet as you need to. Exhale, just plant the hands and step back to downward facing dog. From here, I'll turn around so you can see better. Step your right foot forward, turn the left heel down, and then reach the arms up in warrior two pose. Bend the right knee as much as you need to just feel some nice inner thigh work, some hip strengthening, just the right amount. Maybe it's not as deep as you normally go, that's fine. Now, simple movement, straighten the front leg and inhale, lift the arms. And exhale, rebend the front knee, reach your arms forward and back. Couple of times, lift, lower, lift, lower, lift. Probably the inhale works better for the lift. Lower, probably the exhale works better here. But just figure it out for yourself. One more, inhale, exhale. Nice. From here, move your right shoulder inside the right thigh. Almost like you're going to do that full bind, but instead of doing the full bind, with the right hand hold the right ankle. With the left hand also hold the right ankle. Don't change the back foot, just keep the heel down, same as warrior two. And all we're going to do is nothing actually. We're just going to fold in. And maybe if that left elbow touches down, then you can use that as a little kickstand. But if it hovers, then it's not a real problem. Just drop in for a moment. Go for just the right amount of intensity in the right hip, while keeping the breath soft. And then step back, downward facing dog. Again, if you want to keep moving, there's always a vinyasa here, but I would advise just to consider carefully, do you need to move more? Or is this a good place to take a little break? And then step your left foot forward, turn the right heel down. Warrior two, circle the arms up. Adjust the legs and the bend in the front knee to the right intensity for you today. And then simple movement, inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, rebend the knee, stretch the arms forward and back. Inhale. Exhale. Couple more. Inhale. Exhale. Soothing movements. Can you let your mind relax as you flow through this simple sequence? No need to think. No need to plan much. No need to worry, can I do this? Can I not do it? Of course you can. You showed up to your mat even though you were feeling a little bit depleted or a little bit stressed. And that is enough. That is more than half the work. So from here, lower the left shoulder inside the left thigh. You can just stay here. Or if it's possible, with the left hand hold the back or the outside of the left ankle. The right hand go over it, hold the ankle as well. And then just let the chest relax inside that right knee or thigh or shin or wherever you end up. It's fine. If the right elbow comes down, that's okay. If it doesn't, it's also okay. Drop in for a moment. And then slowly release, hands down, down dog. Or move. I'm going to stay with down dog. You choose. And then place the right knee forward for pigeon pose. So right knee behind your right hand where it was just now. Stretch the left leg back. Then from here we'll do a couple of different variations. First, place the elbows down in front of you. And in the first one, it's just straight down the middle. We're pushing the front knee down, the front shin down, the back leg, push it down as well, and press down through the elbows a little bit. So we're not trying to fold as deeply as possible. We're actually slightly resisting the mat and having a little bit of a sphinx feeling in the upper body. So move the shoulders down the back a little bit together. And also arch your lower back a little bit. You feel this as a deeper stretch in the right hip. The second one, we'll do 3 different variations. The first one's down the middle. The second one is hold your right knee with the left hand and place your right fingertips a bit wider, and then from there don't go deeper. In fact, lift up a bit with the chest and turn your chest to the right. Turn the chest to the right. At the same time, can you pull that right hip back in space? And maybe look up over the right shoulder if that's comfortable. Release that. Third variation of our pigeon is we're walking both hands over to the left side, reach a little bit extra far to the right fingertips, crawl them a little bit forward, and then relax the chest down, but with the right hand, push the floor down a little bit. I'm still lengthening that right hip to the right and to the back. And now you get a really good side stretch in the right side body. Slowly release, come back to center, step back, down dog. Take a breath. And then left knee forward, keep left knee to the left side of your mat. Walk the right foot back and prepare for our first variation of pigeon, straight down the middle. We're staying on the elbows, we're not lying all the way down. We want it to stay slightly active. How do we do this? By pressing that front knee and shin down, by pressing the top of the back leg down, and by pressing the elbows down and pulling them a little bit towards us. Remember, a little bit of a sphinx feeling here, a mini back bend in the spine. And as you lift the tailbone slightly, you'll feel you're getting more into that left outer hip stretch. Try it out. So now we're not actively moving, but the breath keeps flowing at a nice pace, almost like it's doing the work on the inside. And then second variation, right hand holds the left knee. Left fingertips, place them wide outside your knee, press it down a bit, lift the chest slightly, and then turn the chest to the left. Still pulling that left hip back, and from that place, the spine lengthens forward and up. Couple of breaths here. All of our poses today are simple, accessible to all of us. If you have to modify, of course, do that, but you'll find your body will be able to do some of these variations at least, so that our mind can rest in that simple place. Third variation, this time walk both hands to the top right corner of your mat. Walk the left hand extra far, curl your fingers a little bit forward, then push that left hand down as you let the chest, the forehead relax down. And then keep a slight downward pressure on the left hand. And you'll feel a really nice side stretch under the left armpit. Slowly lift back up. And then just swing your right leg around and place the right knee on top of the left. I'm just going to face forward here. Right knee on top of left. If that's a little bit hard to get into, you can always come forward. Move the knees close together. Sit down in between the feet. And if your hips feel a little bit stronger, not good to say tighter, just say stronger, then you can always sit up on a block or a pillow underneath your buttocks here, just to have a little bit of extra lift. It's going to help get in this position a little bit easier. Nice. We have arrived in our pose. You can stay here or just walk the hands forward ever so slightly. Take 3 slower breaths here in the Gomukhasana legs. Inhale. Exhale 1. Soften down. Inhale like you're inflating a tire around the lower back and around the belly. Exhale, deflate the tire. Let go of any pressure you find there, any tension. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale, deflate all the tension around the outer hips, around the lower back. And then lift back up. Let's swap the legs. Right knee is at the bottom this time, left knee on top. If you need to lean forward for a moment, wiggle the knees on top, and then sit back down, that's good. And then sit the hips down. If they don't go all the way down, just pad them with a cushion, with a block. Or you can also lift the top knee a little bit so you have more space. And then walk a little bit forward if that is necessary for you. Rest the upper body over that front knee. And take 3 deeper breaths. With every inhale, feel you're inflating the lower back, the belly, the waist, the outer hips. With every exhale, feel like you're deflating a tire, letting go of all that pressure, all that tension. 2 more. Inhale, direct your breath lower into the pelvis. Exhale, all the tension out. 1 more inhale. Exhale. Slowly walk the hands back up. Come into comfortable seat. This is actually a good time to add a little Shavasana. I wanted to keep this to about a half an hour class, so I'll leave that up to you. If you've got a few extra minutes, just lie down on your back or with your legs up the wall and take another moment or so. Or hopefully you're feeling that this movement has helped you to get into a slightly more positive space physically, more space around the hips, but hopefully also mentally your mind feels a little bit more calm, a little bit more one with the body, a little bit more settled. I hope you're feeling that. I definitely am. Thank you for making time for your health, for taking care of lowering your stress levels. It's probably the most important job you will do. Namaste, and see you here again soon. Take good care.